A very good morning to Wednesday on the Smallholding. So as you saw yesterday, I got started with the country wines. I wanted to get the rhubarb and the blackberry or the bramble done, but unfortunately life took over and I didn't get to doing the bramble. I did get the rhubarb started, so today will be day one for the rhubarb, but it'll be day zero, the conception, for want of a better phrase, of the bramble jam. I'm about to get the pressure canner underway. As you guys know, doing this freezer challenge, trying to get through the freezers. It's the penultimate day for the pigs. So a week of Saturday we'll be getting those back and my freezers need to be empty essentially. So I'm using some of the meat that's in the freezer to go in the pressure canner and starting to get it on the shelves, which are very slowly building up. Today I've got turkey thigh. So this is boneless turkey thigh. I'm not going to take you through the process because that would be a very boring thing if I did that every day. I'm going to do 2 or 3 batches hopefully in the Instant Pot today. I can set it, get on with the blackberry jam and then go off and do my other things. I've got just taken a delivery of some Hessian sacks for the potatoes. I'll tell you about that when we go over there. I won't get distracted now. As we know, I digress. So I'm going to get this started. Get the bramble jam out, not the bramble jam, the bramble wine on. I'll show you the process for that, but not for the pressure canning. But I'll show you the end results for the pressure canning because it's always nice to see them on the shelves, isn't it, when we're done? So a bit tired today. Anyway, we'll keep going. Right, I thought I'd come over and spend an hour in the veg plot because it's been a couple of days since I've been in with doing all the work in the house and the non-smallholding related stuff and things in the house, in stores, doing the canning and all of that good stuff. Anyways, it's a bit breezy, so you can probably already hear on the video. I've just got my hoe because I just want to hoe a few more of those tomato seedlings that insist on coming through in the greenhouse. When I've done that, I'm going to show you what I've just purchased. It arrived the day before yesterday. And it's one of those things that I'm just excited about, which is just ridiculous. The kids are already saying, what on earth are you excited about this for? Anyway, let me just hold this and then I'll show you. It's very dry now. At this end of the season, I don't water the tomato plants as much because it's more about them ripening now rather than producing more fruit. I'll just get all these little ones before they take over again. And we're going to get a load of basil as well while we're out in the garden. These little beauties are the sun gold. They are absolutely delicious straight off the plant. Don't often make it into the house, but I will be growing these again next year. It's worth coming out just for them. Right, let me show you. Just whipped another tomato. I don't know if you can see that because I can't see the camera, but you'd be forgiven thinking it was coffee. It's not. I was looking for something to store the potatoes in and looking at potato Hessian sacks. They cost a fortune. For the ones that I was seeing that were large enough anyway, because you've got to be careful. Some of them are just really, really small and that's no good for me. Having said that, let's see what's in here. But then I saw people selling second hand, or whatever you want to call it, used coffee sacks that the beans have been delivered into their, their businesses. And they said they're really good quality. They've only had beans in and then been emptied, and now they're selling them on for cheap, a lot cheaper than it was to buy the potato sack. So this is what we've got. Oh my god, they're massive. Wow, they're absolutely huge. Well, I wanted them bigger. They might be too big, goodness me. Okay. So I'm saying check the size to make sure they're not too small. Check the size to make sure they're not too big as well. So basically I'm going to sort through the potatoes that we harvested. I've tried to get them dried out, but it has rained on and off for days. So I'm going to get sorted through them now because we've had no rain and they are dry enough, I think. So I'm going to take these out and fill them up. Obviously not full because nobody will be able to lift them. But I think that's really still a very good deal. The bags will just either turn over or fold over and they'll be absolutely fine. I'm really pleased with these. They look really good quality and certainly don't look used. This is what I've got left of my production line, the massive bag. There was one smaller bag amongst it which I've used, and I've used one of the bigger ones. I've taken all of the best potatoes that I can find off the, straight first pass. This is the bloody problem that we're having though. This is clearly why the dogs were going crazy in the bed that day, because other things are having our potatoes for breakfast. The problem is they don't just have one and eat the full thing. They'll have this one, and then they'll start on this one, and then they'll start on this one. They're just destroying multiple ones without taking them all. I'm quite happy to share, but as long as they just take one instead of ruining them all. Anyway, so this is where I am. This is what I've got left to sort through. I am doing ones that are no good, are going in this bucket. I've just seen the state of that one there. That's too much. And the ones that are salvageable, where I've put the fork through or something like that, I've just put in here, and this basket will be what we use first. Some of them, worryingly, are looking a little bit blighty. I don't know if that's coming across because of the shadows and things, but it almost looks like it's been bruised, and I think that's blight, which has come on since we harvested them. So it's probably good that I haven't stored them just yet. So I mean, you can see it's just such a big waste. We need to get this resolved for next year somehow, but we've never had rodent problems up the top. They've always been in the bottom paddock that we haven't grown in this year, so disappointing. But we've got quite a few good potatoes, and there's still a couple of lines to harvest, so I'm pleased about that. We'll just have to see how long they last, and then see what else I can do about it, really. This one made me giggle. It looks like me after my 2 weeks off. I do wonder, do other people just not show the bad potatoes? Is it just me that gets this? Because, when you're watching other people doing the harvesting, they end up with like tons of fantastic potatoes, but it's just not the reality for me. We end up sometimes with as many bad ones as good ones. Got the winter coat back on. It really has turned a bit cooler. I've just been and picked a load of apples from the orchard and tomatoes off the plants that are blighted or starting to blight that we're not going to be eating, and these guys are enjoying them. They have pretty much turned over what we asked them to turn over, which is just as well, because I've come down here to have a quiet few moments with them because we're saying goodbye to them tomorrow. People always say, how do you do it? Does it get easier? Why do you even do this? And it's just part of the process. We eat meat, and we raise our own meat. Quite breezy on the microphone, sorry about that. This is just part of what I do. Come down, spend a little bit of time with them. I will miss them at no end when they go. They've had the happiest of lives that we could have ever given them here, having started over yonder in the original veg plot that down the bottom there, and now in part of the field that was thick with ducks when they turned up, but now, as you can see, is anything but. So to make sure that their bed is comfortable for one last night here, and then tomorrow morning we'll just do a vlog as normal. There's a very kind chap, a friend of ours, who is coming to pick them up in his trailer. We're not sure how that'll go, and then he'll drive into the field, or the horses will stay in the field because it shouldn't be too. They should just stay out of the way. Stephen will cut through the netting. We'll put the trailer in here. These guys won't get fed first thing in the morning. We will bring them some food when the trailer arrives. Maybe just give them a few apples or something, so that effectively they're hungry to go on the trailer, all being well, and then they'll be on the way. It's a cattle trailer, so it's not as small as a previous trailer that we had last year when we struggled to get them on, but they were a bit nervous of the height of the trailer. Hopefully it'll be a little bit easier this time for everybody involved. And we'll secure the fence in, because we don't want the horses to come in here whilst we're off driving them down to a local abattoir. It's about a 30-minute drive from here. So before I go and check to make sure that cannon has worked today and put the next lot on, I'm just going to have 5 minutes with them. It's always a very strange feeling. I don't know, just one of those, difficult to describe, I guess. The pigs are pigs and ducks, I said this before, my absolute favourite smallholding animals. I just love having them. They're just fantastic. I mean, ducks are filthy creatures and pigs are completely not. People get that the wrong way around. Anyway, just spending a little bit of time in the veg plot. Not doing anything really, just having a little look around. let's plan some jobs for tomorrow. I haven't got in here as much as I hope to. It's always the case. Make tons of plans, and as many as I can get done I'll get done, but you never get through everything, which is brilliant because who wants to be bored? There are some cabbages left here that I've purposefully left to give to the pigs later on tonight. That was just a little snack that I've given them now. It's not the evening meal. And as I say, we won't be feeding them too much in the morning. I've got some bread that I'll be giving them when they're on the way, because I do like some bread, but that's when the good boys and they're in the trailer. So just having a little look around, reminding myself of the things that I need to get done. There's some extra potatoes that I do need to get out that I said I was going to dig over in here. Just checking on the red cabbages, they're looking like they're coming through well. And the corn has absolutely shot up. At least somebody's been enjoying the rain that we've been having. Whether or not we'll get some, we can have a look together on the next video. The beans are coming along fantastically. What I think we'll do, tomorrow is Thursday. As I say, the pigs are going first thing. By the time Stephen and I get back, it'll be more like mid-morning. So what I'm hoping to do is come in here, harvest the last of the peas, keep some, possibly I might pick some to keep for next year. I really want to start saving more of my own seed. Peas are obviously one of the easiest ones to save. The Greek Gigante beans are just starting to fill out, so I'm really pleased with those because they are beautiful winter crops. I was going to say fodder for us humans to have, not for the animals. I'm going to ask if Stephen doesn't mind helping me out by turning that over, and essentially just spend some time here in the garden tomorrow going over my thoughts. You know, once the pigs have gone, as I say, it's a strange feeling, everybody deals with it differently, and I just like to get busy in the garden. The garden has not been as active as I wanted it to be with doing everything else. That's totally fine as well. There's a lot of work still to go on through the autumn and the winter. I've just noticed there's a load of raspberries. Can you see the red? Will that come up on the camera? We'll harvest those as well. So quite a bit of harvesting to get done. As you know, I'm already preserving like a mad woman. Oh, there's the pears. I'll get those tomorrow because there is some other little critter that's enjoying those. So we want to get our fair share of those. I'll probably preserve those for the winter rather than eating them fresh. The pears are nice, but they're never that nice to eat fresh, you know, and with a dollop of cream or ice cream or something, or caramelised in the winter is always a fantastic way to remember them. So yeah, I think we'll come out here tomorrow, get quite a bit done, spend the day in the garden. I have got probably 2 hours tomorrow where I won't be able to be in the garden later on, so we should get a good few hours stint out here. So I'll take you along, I think, for a gardening video as well. I'm going to do that separately to the pig vlog probably. I'll see how it works out tomorrow, but just know that that gardening video will be just remembering, just sort of, you know, going through the day, going through the motions and doing what needs to be get done to keep my mind off the pigs going. And then after that, as I know, as these things go, once they've gone and the deed is done, then my mind will turn to filling up the larder, the pantry, the freezers for the winter with what we get back. So don't get me wrong, I know the reality of this. It's just a process that we have to go through, and that's how I do it with me. So we'll see what that video brings tomorrow. Whenever I get it out, it'll be a couple of days later. Let's go and check on the canner. Okay, so I have got the jars out of the canner. These have cooled quite a bit because it's quite a while later now, and I wanted to show you a perfect example of a jar that hasn't sealed. And I had my suspicions about this jar because these are reused lids. Now I can hear people, you know, audible intakes, gasps of breath. I understand people do not like to reuse lids. Well, lids are very hard to come by, and these 2-part jars, I'm not investing in more of these because I'm sticking with these 500ml panel jars at the moment. But of course I've already got these, so I want to use them. And given what I'm trying to achieve here, I wanted to do a little bit of an experiment and try a lid that's got a bit of a dent in it, and I just had my doubts as to whether this would seal, and it didn't. I also may have overfilled the jar. I don't think I have, compared to the others that have sealed and seem to be full, or more full than this one. So this one could well have siphoned a little bit, because if you see in here, it might not be on the camera, but there's a little bit of fat in this water, which means something will have siphoned. Essentially it's bubbled up through the top of the seal. So this one here can be either reprocessed or eaten straight away within the next couple of days or something. These 3 I won't touch. They've just come out of the canner. Even though they're cool, I'll leave them until tomorrow to clean them up and to get the the bands off them, because you take the bands off to store just like this, just to make sure that you don't create a false seal, and you can always see if there's any problems as well. So 3 jars there. I will reprocess this one, so I'll leave that there and I'll get that in with the next batch. I don't know how much meat I've got left, but probably not enough for 4 jars anyway that needs to go in right now, so that might be a silver lining. Only problem with reprocessing is obviously it's like cooking it twice in terms of softening the meat and turning it to mush. That's okay. At the end of the day, if it doesn't get eaten by the humans, the dogs will be very happy with it, I'm sure. Now, before I get the canner on again, we started this blackberry wine earlier on today, and it says to add 1 teaspoon of pectolose, which is pectic enzyme, it goes by the same name, into this once it's cooled off, which I'm just about to do, and then later on we'll come back and do the next step too. Well, I've just come down to feed the pigs some more apples. They've eaten them now, so they might start making a racket in the background. And I'd started doing a Smallholding tour video. I've tried to do this a few different times, but whether the wind has been against me, whether the weather has been against me in the form of the wind on the microphone, you know, somebody's rang me when I've been in the middle of filming. It just seems there's been a series of events that haven't allowed me to get the Smallholding tour done properly yet, and I really want to get it done before these boys go in the morning. So I started doing it. As you can see, it is an absolutely glorious evening. I'm making it look cold because I've got this coat on. I'm actually getting far too hot now. And I was videoing the pigs, and then I suddenly noticed that one of the pigs has lost its ear tag. I couldn't believe it. Oh my goodness me. Bird fight in the distance. I couldn't believe it. So I immediately stopped filming, looked down. There it is. It was literally against the fence, so I picked it up only to realise only half of it was there. Can you see this guy's got it in his ear still? He's a good boy. This one over here, I'll show you if he comes over to the fence, has managed to scratch his ear tag out. So I rang Stephen and said, look, this has happened. I found half of it, can't find the other half. He came down, within 2 seconds of being in the pen, found it. I couldn't believe it. So I'm hoping that this is a good sign that somebody is on our side for this one. Can you see his ear there? Big ear piercing. Hello, my darling. Hello, my darling. Oh, I know, I know. Oh, so we have here 1 ear tag that's felt a bit, so the middle bit isn't there. So what we're going to have to do tomorrow is just explain when we get there what the situation is, and hopefully we're not going to try and do it tonight because we don't have the facilities to put a new ear tag in. This was done when they were weaners, when we bought them. So hopefully tomorrow when we get there we'll be able to explain to them the situation, and we'll be able to kind of do a temporary fix to get this ear tag back on whilst they're in the holding pen at the abattoir, which is not ideal, but I said to Stephen, if we go prepared, so as long as that happens and they allow us to do that, then hopefully there should be no problems. I mean, I'm taking it as a good sign that we've been able to find, sorry, I'm trying to get the sun out of my eyes and yours, that we've found it. Stephen has said not to worry, so I'm not going to worry about it. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I'm not going to try and finish off my Smallholding tour video tonight. I will get it done before I go back to work, and at least I've got the footage of these boys that I wanted to include in it. I'm hoping that I can come out in the morning because I know I'll be awake very early. Probably won't be able to get much sleep. He's trying to get some grass. Probably won't be able to get much sleep. To be honest, I'm not sleeping that well anyway, but that's a totally different story. I've got some plans for that. We can talk about that when we're gardening tomorrow together. Yeah, so by the way, I'm not, if anybody sees this as kind of me being down or anything like that, it's not, so don't worry. It's just going through the process of what's happening. Extra stresses like this, it's just flipping typical, isn't it? The day they've had these ear tags in, every single day, no problem, itching every single day, the day before they're due to go, and this happens. But at least we found them. Stephen is sure that we'll be able to talk to the abattoir guys tomorrow, and we'll make sure that everything is okay. Fingers crossed for tomorrow morning for the guy coming with the trailer and everything. I'm hoping that's what I was saying, sorry, I'm all over the place, excuse me, but I'm hoping I will be able to get up in the morning and get the tour done in the morning. It'll keep my mind off everything. And then Stephen's going to come in here early doors and take this down with the brush cutter. I don't want him to do it tonight because I'm not too sure if the horses will gorge on it, so I need to make sure that that's kind of swept away as best as possible. But we're going to get all the tools together tonight that we'll need to be able to get the trailer in tomorrow, cut the fence open and all that good stuff. So I think I'm probably going to sign off for tonight, and I will catch up with you tomorrow. And look out for the Smallholding tour. It may be a few days before it actually comes out, but it will be recorded first thing tomorrow morning. That I'm pretty sure of. Anyway, good night. I'll see you in the morning.